Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. We are gonna put the brakes and hopefully the clutch and shifter on today. I did put the brakes on off camera. This is what I got set up right here. Made a couple brackets just to hold up I took a shifter and then I cut it, and then this is like I left the bigger part for the brake, and it's bent this way so my foot could fit in there, and it's just pressing against this hydraulic brake right here, which is pretty good. It goes all the way to the back right here, and we already mounted the disc right here. Alright, so the shifter that I am working up right now is going to be a little more difficult than just a hand shifter. So this is what I got going on right now. This is just a stick that goes up and it's a shifter, but this has to come out, and I got to cut this, and then I have to actually install this little gadget I got off Amazon, and this just is going to extend it, and I have to hook up my clutch with the shifter. So we're going to make some brackets, and so we're just going to get that done, and we're just going to enjoy the time lapse. Alright, so this is the shifter adapter that I ordered. This screw right here is kind of weak, so we're just gonna get rid of this. We're actually gonna cut all these little joints off on both sides, and then we're gonna put a bolt through and weld it and put something more beefier and more stronger. Alright, we got a bunch of parts cut out right here, and we're just gonna polish these up, and then we're gonna put the bolt through, weld it up, and we're gonna cut the nut flush with this so it fits against the chain guard. Not too shabby of weld. Now we're just gonna cut that off and make it flush. We have a solid pipe right here. We made a mark. We gotta cut this out. Make a mark on either side of this, and then we're gonna notch it out so it can fit perfectly in the frame. We're gonna get this pipe welded about right here. Alright, I made this bracket right here for the shifter. We're gonna tack it right about there, and made that shifter, and this is what we came up with. Not too bad. This is gonna be my shifter rod. It's gonna go up to the steering wheel. I gotta cut it, but it kind of rotates. I don't like that. It does shift though, but so we're gonna try to fix this somehow. So we finally got this shifter set up how we want it. This is what we got. We got some linkage right here. We got a rod, and we got the shifter itself. This is gonna get cut off right here, and we're actually gonna weld this pipe that I got going on out to the steering wheel, and then the clutch and the shifter will be on this rod. So let's get this marked up and cut out. Alright, so my shifter is not going back, so I gotta make a spring mechanism so it can work. Alright, took some time off camera because I've been trying to figure out my shifter slash clutch situation, but I think I got somewhat of a mock-up idea. Check it out. So over here, we got the shifter itself. It is spring loaded on both sides, so it can go back and downshift and gear the right way, and it springs back. And then the clutch also has a spring because I don't know, for some reason it just wasn't springing back, but yeah, here it is. This is the handle. Springs back, pretty sweet, and it shifts. It's perfect. Alright, so this is what I got so far. I sit pretty comfortably inside of the cart. I'm really excited to get the body on and finally get it to be ripping. Need the throttle, and I need the wiring harness and the gas tank, and this thing should be pretty close for the first start. So kind of show you my gear situation. I got the brakes over here, down here. This is my brakes. That's all the way ran back here, which is pretty nice, and then eventually I'll get some front brakes, but for now this is what I got. So I just put this thing in neutral. So that's neutral, and it's a forward shift, so that's gonna be really nice. There's 4 gears and a reverse, but just imagine like you're driving, you know, and you got the axle spinning. You shift, and that's first gear. That's second gear. That's third gear, and that's 4th gear. So that's what I got so far, and hopefully we can get the throttle. The throttle is going to be on my steering wheel. And then we got the carb, and like I said, a wiring harness, and should be ready to rip. Alright, so we're actually going to cut up this AC refrigerant tank. It's going to be perfect for a gas tank. I'm going to chop the top off, and it's a little windy, so I'm just going to throw a time lapse on and just throw it in the garage, and hopefully I can make something up for this gas tank. Alright, so I got this little tank all cut up, flatten these pieces right here, and now we're working on the top of the cap. So I got these little coupling stuff here. They were in the plumbing section at Runnings, and I think this will work great for like a nozzle for the gas tank, and I think I can weld this. But this is like super thin metal. I think it's 16-18 gauge metal. this is my gas tank that I finally ended up with. I chopped it off and then shortened it about 2 inches off this propane tank, and then I welded it back together. And just for precaution, I put JB Weld all over this. I even got on the bottom here, just so I know it's gonna be fuel resistant and it will hold. There's gonna be my gas tank. I still gotta put a fuel line in the bottom of this tank and then get a fuel pump up to the engine I have. And yes, it's in my car right now, but yeah. So I know it's not pretty by all means, but it's gonna be pretty cool because I think I'm gonna slide it right there, right where the seat's at, and then I will have my fuel line go all the way up to the engine. That's actually gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and in the next video I am going to be doing the first start, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.